Welcome to the Legged Podcast. As you all know by now, the Legged Podcast is powered by Monterex. Make sure you head over to monterex.com and take advantage of the 15% off they offer if you type in Legged at checkout. Monterex have been the main sponsor of the podcast for a while now, and their gear is a belter. So head over to the website now and take full advantage of the Legged promo code. So before this episode starts, if you do enjoy the Legged Podcast and you do want to support us for just £1 a week, you can on Patreon. And with doing so, you get early access to all our episodes and an extra weekly episode of me and Jordan just chewing the fat. Thanks for the support. Nice one. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Before we start, big shout out, Monterex. We're actually rocking both Monterex and Ver our little production today. Go to the link in the bio for your discount on them. It's Legged 20 for Ver and just Legged on its own for Monterex. Also Health Kit Kitchen, Legged 10 if you want your scran. All the links in the bio. Go and support all the Scouse businesses that support the pod. Nice one.
Fucking nice to see you, lad.
I know. A full week away. Wednesday to Wednesday.
Feels like you've been away for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, so apologies. You know what? Still loads of interaction for last week's Sportscast.
Yeah.
Done via the old Zoom.
Not the same, but...
Not the same, but it was. We got it done, which was good. Apologies for our Patreon members. We missed the show this week. I'll hold my hand up to that.
We'll go through that.
We'll go through that on Patreon. For those who like watching George give me shit for my social activity.
It's cool.
But no, there was too much of a big week in sport last week to miss it. Thankfully, we didn't. One thing it's probably good to kick off with, though, to be honest, before I talk about my, kind of holiday. Is a Sportscast we done many moons ago come to light last night on Twitter. I had loads of people WhatsApping me videos and getting tagged in Twitter, and the fume
of the asthmatic Reds,
the inhaler fucking sucking, run all day, don't get injured Reds. I was loving it.
Oh mate,
I'll be honest, I was sitting in Barcelona airport feeling a bit worse for wear, and then fucking the Premier League and FA were getting tagged into conversations that me.
Do you know what though? The fact that they took it as, if you remember back, we at that point we were talking about conspiracies loads, wasn't we? About the
the longer clip is about conspiracies.
Yeah, but then obviously the lad, I don't even know who he is. I don't think he follows the podcast. How the fuck he's come across it?
Maybe just a bit of blue, but it done the rounds though.
But even blues that I know was like, what the
mate, you could smell the piss boiling from fucking Barcelona.
Some Reds as well, saying, who's this?
Yeah, well, someone had to go at me, and he's standing there in a fucking full kit with a European Cup. If they're the Reds who are having a go at me, then come at me.
Someone called you the danger, and the other had a 3/4 on.
3/4. I just love it.
I do.
I fucking love it. Bring on the fume, because it's not stopping anytime soon. Lad.
The asthmatic Reds are not stopping.
The asthmatic Reds are not stopping.
One of the lads, Ali, who we've been out to a couple of times, I can't believe you're blowing the lads up.
It's great. So
your final ticket's gone.
I just wish that they would have tagged the Legged Podcast in, just for a bit of notoriety. No, what is it? No bad news is...
Yeah, all publicity is good publicity,
That's
innit? I mean, someone was trying to get you sued. Someone tagged Liverpool saying, I think you should sue this fella.
Oh God, Twitter. It's quite funny.
How that app is free, I'll never know.
It might not be with fucking Big Elon coming on board.
I'd pay for it. Did you see that tweet this week? If BT Sport introduced £15 a month to mute Steve McManiman, I'd pay it. I would. Oh mate, I know you didn't hear it. The commentary last night.
Was it?
Him and Fletch.
Yeah.
And it's bad because obviously I'm a massive boxing fan. The BBC do a podcast and Fletcher started jumping in it because he does a lot of BT Sport boxing, doesn't he? And I was like, he knows his boxing, he's good, like a good presenter, but his commentary, they were like 4 minutes added on something he said at the end, and he was like, not long enough. Like, that extra time.
You would have thought McManiman was biased towards Real Madrid though.
Do you know what the thing with McManiman is? He's not even biased, he's just crap. Do you know, like, even if he's commentating on Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man City, he's played for everyone, hasn't he? But he's just crap.
Oh yeah, he played for Man City actually as well, didn't he?
But his commentary is just shit. There's no way around it.
I can't say I've like got an opinion. I can't think of many games actually.
No. Well, to be honest, yeah, it was just crap, but the game, I think that's probably the place to start, isn't it? I know. Yeah. Got Liverpool and...
Well, I was made up, like I say. So let's backtrack a bit first then. So I went to Punchestown last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, it was last Thursday. Mate, we need to go.
Unreal.
I don't visit Dublin enough, considering half an hour away.
I've never been.
Oh, brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah, Dublin was boss, and Punchestown round Naas, unbelievable. Nowhere near as crowded as Cheltenham and Aintree.
Yeah, I've heard that
but
before.
such a good crack. So like it's like the same atmosphere, the same crack music, good chatting, friendly people, but you're not waiting 20 minutes to get a pint. Straight in, bar service with boss. Mate, it was just a bell today. The sun was shining, real good crack, loads of winners. Yeah, I had a cracking day. Then in the evening, no, this is a sports show, but like the entertainment was quite good in the evening. You go in every pub, I don't know whether this is just Punchestown, but every pub, it's like going down Diagon Alley. Seems like a really small door. You think, fucking hell, that booze is tiny. You go in, and then it's a mile long.
Fucking wizard
with
sleeve.
rooms there, bars there, fucking stages there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Boss. I've heard that about Punchestown before, though. That is unbelievable.
If anyone hasn't been, get to Punchestown. 5-day festival. I'll be looking already.
It's cheap as chips to get there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievably cheap.
Love that.
And 40 quid ticket, I think it was, to get in.
What was you just in the tat, yeah? But
No, one up from the tats. It was
Was it?
only 40 quid.
Boss, that.
Oh, really.
And the
good
racing's
crack.
unreal as well, isn't it?
Racing was brilliant, yeah. Racing was really had a fourfold in.
Yeah, I've seen that. Was
Would've
it
been
James's
nice.
place, was it?
Let me down in the last one.
Favourite as well, wasn't he?
1 to 2 he was as well.
Where did he come?
Fourth.
Any chance of winning?
It was one of those races where the two horses just, went like crazily, like 20 lengths.
Yeah.
And it was hard to kind of judge and pull it back, but brilliant days of racing. Then I spent the weekend in Dublin, which was great, and then I flew down from Dublin to Barcelona for obviously the match. We've got a few mates, shout out to Jordan, he caught up with him in Barcelona, and then day just in Barcelona on the Monday, and then 2-hour train down to Villarreal, which in that was a story. And I think obviously it's a sports show, listen, we're here because of the sport, but everything that goes around it, it just makes it up, you know what I mean? Sitting there on a beach with all your mates, eating paella. I should say it in a bit more Spanish, paella. That's what it's about, you know what I mean? It was a brilliant day in the summer, all the lads. The trip down to Villarreal was a bit interesting. Got there on the Tuesday. There is fuck all in Villarreal.
Nothing.
It's described by someone who lives in Spain as the dump of all dumps. There's fucking nothing there. There's 50,000 people who live in Villarreal.
Seen that, yeah.
And we stayed about 6 miles up the road in a little town. It was the only hotel we could find. There was not one taxi there. We waited 2 hours for a taxi, finally got one, but there was 7 of us. So 4 of us got in one, 3 in the other. In the end, the lads who had to wait went into a bar and asked the bird behind the bar if her husband could take them. They're 6 miles up the road and had to give them €50 to take them.
Fucking hell.
There's fucking nothing there.
I've seen that on the commentary, said the stadium's 24,000 and it houses the half of the population of the fucking
madness. And it pissed down all day, which wasn't ideal. The match itself, I didn't flap it at our time, but I was a bit like, fucking hell. I saw my mate, Tom Muir, shout out to Tom if he listens, he's the one I first kind of started going with when I was 13, 14. And he was the only one I spoke to in Spain who actually went, it's going to be harder than people think, Because all day people were just talking about France and booking this, are you going to fly, we're going to do this, are we going to get City or Madrid? I was like, this is going to be hard, And, first 3 minutes it proved right.
That's what I couldn't believe. I think I said on last week's Sportcast, when like TalkSport and that, they were doing a thing, only clips, I don't listen to it, were saying, oh, Villarreal was a disgrace, the worst semi-finalist ever. And I said to you, like, coming back from Anfield, getting beat 2-0 and one of them was a fluke goal is not the worst result in the world, because they would have known, we get that goal, it's on, and, it played out that they did. It's just, if you look at it on, like, the bare-faced result, without looking at what they came for, it tricked you into thinking we were through.
Oh, massively, yeah. And their fans, seemed great, all friendly before the game and afterwards and stuff. Good atmosphere. But then second half, don't know what Jürgen said, but it worked. Couple of inhaler blasts.
Tiago, get over here, lad.
Couple of inhaler blasts, they were good to go, and then they just proved why they are still in for this quadruple.
Going from that performance in the first half to second half, so impressive, like, because we were to a man, and I mean even the likes of Virgil, Tiago, who's rightly got all the plaudits in him last month or so, he was as bad as Keita, Fabinho was terrible, Salah, but then to go from that to, like, I still don't think they played that well, but like they managed to drag something out of themselves.
Well, I think what as we look back in it, which is only 4 or 5 weeks away at the end of the season, when we look back, I think the sign of a great team is obviously winning when you're playing bad. If Liverpool can can have terrible 45 minutes in games where it doesn't matter. You see in the Inter Milan game we got beat, didn't matter because we already had the 2-goal lead. You know, if they can play an awful 45 minutes over 180 minutes, it doesn't matter. And obviously it was an awful 45, but yeah, like you say,
yeah. Do you know what scared me the most? It's like, because it's always in the back of my head, we looked tired in the first half, and I was like, not now. Do you know what I mean? Don't let the legs go now when we're on the edge of this.
I agree, but I think the big difference is now is the squad depth.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to come on to City now. I was looking at City's bench. Our bench is better than City's now.
It is.
You know, when you're looking at the rotation they're doing with the front three, you know, even the lads in midfield, and even the fullbacks now are getting a little bit of a rest. Swapping Matip and Kanate. It's, again, mate, I think it is still a Liverpool mindset, but we've always been the underdogs. I think now, though, I think Reds are starting to go, nah, you know what? Fucking, even the bench is man for anyone.
But when you look at, like, so Jota scored like 20 this season, hasn't he? Like, in other teams, if you scored 20, if you're having a bad half, you'll get kept on because, you know, you could pop up with a goal. If you have a bad half in Liverpool's team, you're more than likely off. Diaz on.
You're coming off after 60, aren't you?
It's like in the midfield, if you're playing bad, the captain's on the bench there. You can come on. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not this thing of like, oh, you've done well for the season. No. We'll keep you on there. The only argument you've got there is Salah, who went through a little bit of a rough patch and was kept with. But
he's like...
Yeah, but I mean, that's credit in the bank, innit?
Yeah,
fucking hell.
When
you've done what you've done, you get a little bit of credit, but...
Even the right-back situation, you know, bringing on Joey Gomez last couple of weeks, and he's already... I've seen some articles putting him into the England contention as well for the World Cup. He hasn't played all season, but he comes in, got an assist, played great. I mean...
He was brilliant against Newcastle, Gomez.
So it's exciting times, and like I say, great results. And you know what? Liverpool, as a football club, the owners get slagged off loads. Fair play to them. They put on coaches for all the fans to get them back to like the town.
Really, yeah.
Which I thought was good because it would have been a nightmare walking the 7 miles back.
I've had that conversation with you though. Like, I honestly don't know how anyone can criticise Liverpool's owners. No. And I understand that the only thing I think is the ticket thing, and I've said that to you loads. But as a club, the way Liverpool's ran, you have to be careful what you wish for, because this is as good as it gets, both on the pitch and off the pitch. And it's either this or you want to go back, you know, 20 years and end up shit again. Like, it's what's the lesser evil? You know what I mean?
On the ticket thing as well, we were talking about this, and I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. So I look at my own situation for a minute. So I've been to every home game this season. Away wise, I've not been to none in the Prem. I'll hold my hand up to that. But aways, I've been to Inter Milan away, Benfica away, Villarreal away, and as it stands, I've got no chance of getting a ticket for the final because according to the club, I'm not on the books. I've not got a season ticket. So there's got to be some, and by the way, I'm not, you know, crying, you know, poverty. There'll be other fans in a similar boat who've been to more games and still won't get a ticket. But yeah, I know every man and his dog will be going to Paris, and there'll be people with money who can just, you know, there'll be business people who will just pay $3,000 for a ticket.
There's 30,000 commercial tickets.
Do you know what I mean? So and it'll take them off, you know, the lads who go to the game, who can't fucking drop $5,000 on a ticket, 100%. And yet someone won't have been a game all season and I'll go. I don't know how you get around that.
There's no way around it, lad, because the thing is, and when you look at it in the cold light of day sort of thing, if you're, for example, if you're in Paris and you haven't got a ticket, but someone offers you one and you can pay it more than someone who's been to every home and away game, you're going to pay it, aren't you? That's the way life is, unfortunately. But there's no way of regulating it, I don't think, because like you don't go to the game all the time in Andy Grant's season ticket, do you?
No,
that's what I mean. So if they start to bring in this thing, for example, say if you signed in at your seat, and you know, whether it was a barcode, whatever it may be, and every game it was logged on your phone or something, you couldn't then swap tickets, so you wouldn't go to the match at all.
Of course,
do you know what I mean? So there's no way of doing it. It just so happens that like the setup's wrong, because as you say, was it 12 and 12, the 12,000, 30,000 for the
UEFA and sponsors and stuff.
So you can imagine the amount of companies now could be, you know, we've got like a charger thing there. Whoever designs them could have some sort of they get 10 tickets to bring as many clients as they want. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, then fans, it's just look at the draw, and I've seen people entering ballots, like UEFA ballots. I
entered the UEFA ballot, fucking nada. So it's gonna be, well, listen, I'm not gonna get too dampened about it, I'm sure, hopefully. Yeah, on that note, if anyone does have a spare, let me know.
I'll pay more than him.
But no, it's great that, listen, we're in the final again. And then obviously, I got on my flight home from Barca just as the Man City game was kicking off. So 5 minutes of it, then I had to put my phone on airplane mode. Lands at Liverpool airport, phone off airplane mode. And it was in the 117th minute.
Heavy
extra
game.
Time, couldn't believe it. And then laughed as everyone else did on the plane, when you're seeing that they scored 2 goals in the last minute of the game.
Like, do you know what? I was in ours, and I was watching the game, and like, you know, obviously it's getting on, like midweek, I went, I turned it off. And I was on live score because I was waiting for another booking, you know, and then bet builder things. Yeah. So I was waiting on another booking, and I see Rodrigo score, and it like got to the edge of our living room, turned around and went, to squat, and then it went in again. And I didn't end up going to bed about 1 in the morning, just laughing at fucking Pep Guardiola memes. But
brilliant.
It's the reason it scares me, like I've said for a couple of weeks now, it feels like the name's just on it. They've come back so many times. Like that, they were dead in the water last night. Yeah. PSG, Chelsea was it. You know, they've done it the same thing. Benzema just happens to score again. But they're at City at home.
They do that in the Bernabeu. Okay, it's not going to be in the Bernabeu.
Yeah, but they did it at the Etihad as well.
Did they?
Yeah, but they managed to get back in the game, didn't they?
Still got beat.
Yeah, but they were back in the game.
I'd let them get back in the game if it means they get beat in Paris.
Yeah, but we're not at Anfield either, are we?
Lads, have you seen some of it? We won in every European away this season, lads.
I understand that I make Liverpool favourites, but sometimes it's just written already.
But you know, though, and this isn't a dig at
Liverpool's
Man City.
quadruple could be written already.
This isn't a dig at Man City, but in the purest, and probably is biased towards Liverpool, though, but you look at European, you know, teams, like who've got great history, the red of Liverpool, the white of Real Madrid, in a city like Paris, I mean, that is like the best advertisement you can get for European football. Like the all reds, all whites, in the biggest game ever, in Paris. That is like, if you could pick a European Cup final with pedigree, with the best players in the world in, 2 of the biggest managers in the world, that's the game.
Would you sacrifice the FA Cup and the league now to win that?
I'm not into this sacrificing shit, lad. I want it all.
I love the attitude.
I want it all, and I think now, I think Pep's head might fall off.
In the league? I can see that 100%, but I mean, they have to win the league though now, because they can't finish trophyless. Like,
imagine if they finish trophy, mate. He's not won the Champions League without Messi.
No.
Like, they say he's the greatest manager. He spent 500 million more than Klopp. He come into a team that was already Premier League champions.
I reckon if me and you, like Mike Bassett and Dodgy, would have got Barcelona with Xavi, Iniesta and Messi, we'd have had a go. We'd have had a go.
Lad, me and you could have done it.
We'd have had a go.
We could have got to at least the final. Could have had a good day out.
Yeah, literally.
But honestly, when you think about the team he had, he got them playing great football. He had Messi. Do you know what I mean? Fucking Messi. He's not won a Champions League without Messi.
I'm no Pep fan at all. I think he's crazily overhyped. But the thing is, what if they finish trophyless, he either goes and walks away and they start again, or they just literally go and spend £1 billion again and just do it again.
He is. Listen, he's a great manager, but he's overrated. He's overrated in what he's come into that Man City team. Again, we're already champions. He spent 500 million more than his next rival, and his sole aim was to win the Champions League. Yeah. And he's not done it.
I hate the deflection of, you know, the league's more important. When they signed Pep Guardiola to win the Champions League.
He'd already won the league with all the other managers. They didn't need him for that.
The fact that the money they spent, they haven't spent it well either.
No.
Look, your point earlier, the bench is not that great.
No.
You know, Grealish, for as good as I think he is in the right team, it's not done it yet.
Wasn't a great buy, as in, no, you know, it wasn't rewarding for them.
They're still playing.
They're getting for the money.
Still got Fernandinho coming on in the same breath. You know, we've still got Milner coming on, but you know, Gundogan again getting on. Still, like they haven't spent the money. They spent a lot of money, but it's not been spent well, has it? It's been spent like just on the splurges. You know, just throw whatever you want at him. Same with, you know, they're going to do it with Haaland, but I think if they don't win the league, they'll do it with Haaland and about 4 other players probably.
Yeah, it's just great seeing them not.
Oh yeah, I'm not bitter towards probably the rivals I should be in terms of Everton, but with Man City I am bitter. Yeah. Like, I don't want them to win.
Paddy Power done a good tweet. It was like, this was the worst defeat in City's 10-year history.
Yeah. Paddy Power are ruthless, you know, because they go after every club.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, we roll on, don't we? But
Carlo Ancelotti, mate, as well. He's come out and said about his he likes something about he's still an Everton fan and stuff like that. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, but he said he also said this week that he's happy to retire unless Real Madrid want him.
Really?
Yeah, so he said he's happy. You know, he's ready to retire or he's happy to go, but he's just there for as long as Madrid want him. But as like European royalty, they are Real Madrid and all this stuff. They're still a shit club in terms of that. If they lose the Champions League, they will sack Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah, which is a bit mad.
And it's just like crazy, but What about our Blue friends? They got themselves out of a...
Well, before, if we just touch on the Blues, what I will say is me and you speaking about Klopp. What was weird, we spoke about Klopp potentially signing the contract. A few hours later, it gets dropped that he's actually signed it. We put it down to being his wife, Ula.
Yeah.
And what does he say?
What a legend she is.
What does he say in his statement? My wife wants to stay. So,
like every good man.
Scouse Queen.
Listen to his wife. She is, mate.
Scouse Queen, Ula.
There might be a statue of Klopp one day. I'm pretty sure they will be if he does the quadruple. There will be one of hers somewhere. Or some sort of like plaque or something.
And yet, mate, the Blues, moving on to them, lads. What I think, I keep on saying every time they get a result, which was a brilliant result for them, Goodison looked like it was absolutely rocking.
It was rocking too, yeah.
You think, yeah, done. The one little dig I'll have at Everton is the shit I've got, and you see on Twitter, of us, going and greeting Liverpool, the bus with the flares and the crowds, and they're going, lad, you fucking cheering the bus, what the fuck, Mings, bull behaviour. And then they do it.
Works.
And it worked, and they got a great, feedback from the club and the players all, So,
lad, I'm an advocate for wool behaviour. I think wool behaviour is what holds Liverpool up. Yeah. I know the core of the old school, but like all that stuff that we've done.
I don't think it's wool behaviour cheering the club.
No, I don't either. But like all that stuff that we've had stick for, slowly but surely, everyone's starting to do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's nothing up with it, because what you have to remember is there's only 2 Scousers on that Liverpool bus. As players, the rest of the players want to see that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I think even the Scouts. I want to.
No, I'm sure the players. I want to definitely, but I'm saying, you act like this, this Scouts thing and the heritage stuff. Yeah. But the players on there are not from the same places we are. Do you know what I mean? They want to see this stuff. But to be fair to Everton,
that dog getting lofted
that was the funniest thing I've seen. The dog just looked like it being prepped as well. It was just stood.
He's just so calm, just like walking through the crowds.
So good. But in terms of the atmosphere, it was as good as atmosphere I've ever seen Everton create. Yeah. Like they would cheer them even when things were going wrong. Like they stayed behind the team, which was great. Yeah. Frank loved it, but mate, the save from Pickford, fucking insane, lad.
He just does me head in though.
Oh, 100% does my head in.
Afterwards, it was like, all right, lads, calm down.
I don't know if I've seen a better save than that, lad.
It was unbelievable, lad. Does he get to the first one, or does it hit the post?
No, so I don't know if he gets to it, but it's just the fact that he saves it here, then he gets back, but then he's running that way and the ball goes past him, and he's so strong to do that, and then he took one round the chops.
But he loves it though.
Yeah, he does love it.
And you know what? Actually, I'll pipe down a minute. I'm sure it's equivalent of him scoring a goal, and it's like it goes off his head. To be fair, like I know Alisson's a different, but if Alisson pulled that save off pretty much, it's a bit like he did when he done one against Napoli a few years ago, I would have celebrated the same way every Everton fan, because it was just. Oh yeah, it's that moment. But Alisson doesn't though, does he? Alisson just gets up like one. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but he's fucking James Bond, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a sexy bastard.
Yeah, he's fucking. He can pull off anybody.
Which Alisson do you prefer? Like the groomed one? He does sometimes. He's a bit scruffy, doesn't he? Sometimes
No, I'm for like beard. Haven't brushed my hair.
I love him in that black kit. Yeah, it's just all black hair, black big beard.
He can do everything. He can go fade. He can go skinhead. He can go locks. He can go. Haven't got up. Don't care what the fuck's happening. Beard, no
sometimes
beard.
Sometimes he does just look like he's rolled out of bed, doesn't he? And he still is.
I think he does though. I think that's how he leads his life. He's just like, what? I don't care.
I'm bot.
This is me. And I'm unreal.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just obviously a great result for Everton. I think, Do you
think that's them safe now?
I do, because I think they dragged Leeds back in.
Yeah.
And Leeds have got Chelsea, Arsenal next 2.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're safe. I think there's still work to do, but I think they've given themselves a hell of a chance now.
They got Leicester away at the weekend.
But Leicester's a game is weird. You can go and get beat 5-0 by Leicester if they're on it, and everyone's like, God, they're a team for next year. Or you can go and beat them 5-0 because they don't care.
I think if they can beat Leicester, then that's the game in hand, innit?
But I think they've given themselves a hell of a chance now.
Yeah, if they got beat by Chelsea, it would have looked grim for them.
I think Leeds might go.
Yeah, I think they might now as well.
Because they were just like, I know they brought this guy in and he's sort of gone away from that made ball he's playing where everyone just runs everywhere. But now they look stuck between the two. Do you know what I mean? They're not quite going man for man over the pitch, but they're not quite set up to defend either. So it's just like, we're going to have to score more than you. We played like that for a while, didn't we, under Rodgers, where it was like, we're going to have to score 5 to win it because we've conceded 4.
I think in general, though, the end of the season's looking great. Obviously, the league title looks like it's going to go down to the wire. The relegation looks like it's going to go down to the wire, as does the top 4 as well, all the European spots. So it's been like a great season in that respect.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I mean, the gap from Liverpool and City to the rest of the league, I think, has never been bigger.
No.
But I think the lack of quality in the league probably has helped the entertainment. Because outside of, I even, when people are giving the likes of Arsenal credit, United are terrible, Chelsea in my opinion are bang average. The fact that there's not that much between literally from third to like, you can probably take out Norwich because they are garbage. Yeah. But there's
like
not
15, 16.
There's not that much between anyone. Yeah.
The other thing, mate, off Liverpool and Everton, mate, is you've seen Roman Abramovich now wants his 1.5 billion back.
Yeah, bad for them,
That is really bad. That's a little bit like, from a Chelsea fan, I'm starting to worry a bit now. Because whoever's going to come in, the owner, they're already spending 4 billion to buy it. And now at the last minute, the owner's going, actually, I want me 1.5 billion now as well. Yeah. That's a fucking extra headache you didn't think you'd have.
Yeah, it's one of them like things where, however this plays out, is probably going to define the next 10 years for Chelsea, how this plays out, because if it goes as sour as it probably could, that could be it in terms of... But they've got problems on the pitch and off the pitch, mate. Like, whatever that manager, Tuchel, I don't rate him, by the way. Whatever he's done with Lukaku is ridiculous.
He seems to have rubbed players up the wrong way,
It's become personal with Lukaku, clearly, because... You're
aware
of
it. Play him against Everton, did he?
I think he brought him on, or I don't know if he didn't. But still, Lukaku this time last year, was arguably the best number 9 in the world.
Yeah.
And I understand he might not be able to cut it, but that has become a personal situation in terms of not giving him any opportunity. He just, I don't know.
What I think backs that argument up perfectly is the Rudiger situation. Now, I know Madrid's obviously a massive team, and when they come in for you, you're going to have your head turned. But the fact he's... Chelsea can't offer him nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Rudiger's looking at the relationship breakdown with Lukaku, maybe a couple of others thinking,
I think a lot of it, there'll be plenty of Chelsea players, I think, who are like, sinking ship this. I'm going to get out as quick as I can. And Lukaku's clearly one of them.
Yeah.
But if I was like the likes of, who's got like Everton, you could probably get him, the likes of Villa, other teams like that who want to bridge the gap. That's where I would go. Because he's not going to go back now. He's gone Inter, and then this was his next step. So he's tried Man United. He's gone back to Chelsea about 4 times. Does he go to, I don't know, does he go to Madrid, Barcelona, whatever? But I think if he wants to stay in England, if I was him, I would go and be the big fish somewhere. Get something built around you, do you know what I mean? Because that's where he thrives. And if you can get Lukaku playing, he's as good a striker as there is in the world, mate, in terms of influence.
Yeah, no, I agree. And else on the old foosball, in fact, a couple of things here actually. Like, sad thing to say, Crawley have come out and said there's like 8 different counts of racism gone on, which fucking is not great. You think now again as a white lad who's never had to experience any racism, you kind of assume because you're not racist and none of the people you hang around with are racist, you kind of forget that it still does go on.
Yeah, there's fucking loads of racist people.
Do you know what I mean?
It's horrible, innit? I hate that stuff, mate. Like,
that's fucking...
Do you know what the deeper issue to that all that stuff is though? And I pull my own club into this. People's lives revolve around it on a personal level too much. Yeah. Like I love football and I love Liverpool winning, but like it shouldn't get to the point where you're happy to sacrifice like the person you are. You're literally willing to be like racist or like sing heavy songs for a game. Yeah, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's just
bringing out the person that you probably are, though, which is fucking even scarier.
Yeah, it's too personal for too many people. But down there's all the playoffs and stuff, innit?
Yeah, that's all going on.
Yeah, I wanted Forest to beat Bournemouth the other night. I'd love to see Forest back in the Prem.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the playoffs now, won't they? But
big team, Forest, though, aren't they?
Mate, women's football as well, cracking on. Biggest match, I think, in the UK.
Yeah.
When it was the Newcastle, was it?
Yeah.
Newcastle women's, great again for football. Also, mate, off topic, we had the Maradona shirt for the Hand of God. Got sold for 7 million quid.
If I had the dough, though, I know I've said I'd buy shit like that.
But you know what was funny, though? Maradona's family have come out and said that's not even the real one.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Imagine spending 7 million quid.
I got sold a dud goldfish, he got sold a dud Maradona shirt.
You thought you had it done?
Oh my God.
Yeah, Maradona's family have come out and said at half time he swapped it or something like that, or he's come in on full time and swapped a shirt, and the one that everyone's just paid 7 million quid for.
Seen Peter Reid next to it saying, no, this is as close as I got, like he's trying to preempt the comments he was getting. Yeah. But I love the, Peter Shilton's quite outspoken, isn't he? Yeah. About like political things and stuff like that. And every tweet he puts, I don't follow him, but I see it all the time. It's just that picture of Maradona doing that, like to every comment. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if I was a a rich man, that's the type of shit I'd buy.
And the last sour point, sadly, we'll finish on for football unless you want to bring a funny story in after this. But, mate, there's a Celta Vigo player who's still playing now. I think Mino, his name is, I think. He's got 4 years for sexual assault.
4 years?
What the fuck's up with players at the minute this season? It's fucking all going on.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 4 years. It's happening more and more.
Santi Mina, 4
years, sexual assault.
Celta Vigo temporarily removed striker. I mean, that's a very wide definition of temporarily, that. 26 years old.
You're hearing stuff, obviously.
Wow.
Sigurdsson's still up in the air. Mason Greenwood's still in the air. Now this. I mean, don't know what more you can say.
It'll never stop, mate. It's just this mad. You put these people in a certain. It's hard to talk on without people being obviously convicted of these crimes, but it looks like he is. But like, put these people in positions where no one's ever said no to them in their life, and no one can, and then you wonder why this happens. But it's like I had a very brief look into it. It's a poisonous world, that and there's not. It doesn't surprise me one bit, these cases and the just the people that the game creates. It can create a lot of great people in terms of you know, like Sadio Mane, for example. Don't know what he's like as a bloke, but has made money and then invested back in his home country and all that stuff.
Salah does a lot, uses influence in Egypt and stuff.
I'm sure players across the whole Premier League do it, but it also can create monsters for want of a better word.
Bit of a sour note. We could end on just
great time to be a football fan, though.
Just talking about the asthmatic Reds, probably that'll probably got.
It's a great time to be a football fan, and just why I'm here. If anyone wants to sell Champions League ticket. Slide into my DMs. Good price.
Fucking listen. Good price. I'll remind you all, I got him in on this, so if there's any fucking bidding to be done.
People know I'll keep it confidential, though.
I will.
You'll be you love like a little Twitter or Instagram selfie. You'll be like, ticket. I'll be like, lad, let's just do this quiet transaction. You send me the ticket. I'll send you whatever you want. I won't tell anyone.
Find out Jordan gets one before me. I'll be fucking.
I won't tell anyone that you ripped me off. We'll just do it quietly. So, name your price. Slide into the DMs.
On that note, on to tennis, mate. Talking about fucking misdemeanors, not quite, thankfully, as bad as sexual assault, but Boris Becker's just got 2.5 years.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's basically
hiding assets.
Yeah, so he's filed for the 50 million quid bankruptcy, and obviously all his creditors that he owes money to obviously wanted a bit of it. Yeah. And he said, look, I'm bankrupt, I'm skint. And they've done a bit of digging and found that he had 2.5 million just sitting there in a bank he forgot about.
Boris.
And it's
that's heavy sentence, that.
Yeah, he's been done. He'll probably do at least a year, won't he? But you know what? I've read up a little bit about this and stuff, and obviously he rose to fame when he was 17. He won Wimbledon. Yeah. And apparently he just never ever got used to being famous. You know, young, rich, and famous, and he struggled with it a lot.
The problem is though, like everyone on the outside, you know, like bloody hell, he's earning all this money, but a lot of it is mismanagement, isn't it? Once you make a couple of bad decisions, then you're then chasing your tail, aren't you?
A couple of bad decisions, i.e. being shagging away, getting caught, and then getting a divorce. Being
a couple times.
But some of the decisions he's not maybe got right.
How'd you land in joke though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he did get a massive divorce, which cost him fucking millions and millions and millions.
Is it this like a cut and dry he's doing?
Oh yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's done. He's probably in there now. Probably listening to this in Nick.
No, now you're saying Boris Becker's got a blower on the wing. Now you are for it.
Djokovic gave him one to bottom of his ass.
Now you are doing the old conspiracies.
I know.
Trying to get us another video going viral.
I know. But I was a bit gutted, sad to say that, because you just think of maybe the wrong way to think about it, but I think of the politicians that get away with fucking murder. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you think he's got nicked over something like that.
There's plenty of them doing it, yeah. It is what it is, but it's bad. It's a bad
tax or whatever he's got away with, but yeah.
Bad situation.
Yeah, so Djokovic has come out and just said how gutted he is, you know, and all that. So sad for Boris. Djokovic was meant to actually play Murray this week.
Seen that? Murray pulled out, didn't he?
He's pulled out with an illness, not an injury this time. But it would have been the 37th time they've played each other.
Hey, Andy Murray, as much as we joked about him on this podcast, is the luckiest because of the career he's had. Well, not lucky, but worked very hard for it. But also the unluckiest player, because he's always been the fourth man in the generation of the three best tennis players of all time. Obviously, it's probably helped his career in terms of like profile and stuff, like obviously playing them games, but he'd have won like
so
how many times more than what he has if they weren't around. But yeah, he's coming to the end. But
yeah, and you know what though, the way we did joke about him, saying that, you know, I joke, and he said he was shite because he's always injured. He's come out and said, look, he went, Djokovic is the world number one. I'm a robot. I've got a fucking broken, like a metal hip, you know, and it is. He's been unfortunate with the injuries he's got. And like you say, mate, an unlucky career in some ways.
I've seen that documentary where they did that operation on his hip, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Have you seen it?
No.
Like they take a titanium ball, basically, and like he videos the whole thing. So they take his hip basically away from him, put this ball in, and then just like jam it back in. So it's like there's a titanium ball obviously separating it's heavy stuff. How he even got back to playing,
it's unbelievable.
to saving, like, if him and his brother had a game at Christmas is beyond a joke. The fact he's playing
it's mad refereeing. But he's also as well come out what we spoke about last week, saying the Russian and Belarus players, he said it's a joke, you know, they shouldn't be banned.
To be fair, that's the side of Andy Murray that I understand why he doesn't show more of it, but I actually quite find him a bit funny sometimes, like being dry, but he's not afraid to say stuff like that.
No,
you know,
like
and have an opinion, but yeah, I do. I like him, but he's just not playing his best. No. In your opinion?
Another one I like, but isn't playing her best either, is Emma Raducanu again. She's just gone out to the third round. It's just not happening for her, man.
Nah, same, mate. We had this conversation last week. She just needs to. I know why she's playing, and obviously probably contractually obliged to play in some games, but she probably just needs to take a bit of time, get herself together. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's not something that, you know, you don't want to keep kicking her while she's down, because hopefully she's going to turn it back around. But it seems to be the same headline literally every week.
Before I let you, mate, run the riot act on the boxing, there's loads to talk about there. A few last little things on F1 and snooker. The snooker we've seen, the Rocket Ronnie equal.
Unbelievable,
Hendry's seventh world champions he's got now. He's the oldest player to win it as well.
Yeah.
Just and he doesn't look like he's stopping as well. No. Just unbelievable. One of the greatest sportsmen ever.
Yeah, I think it's only the fact that he's in such a middle. What would you call it? Like a minimalist sport. Yeah. In terms of like outside of the UK, it's pretty.
Yeah, it doesn't get the kind of, I don't think, the recognition it deserves. No. I think we've said before, probably doing the 147's got to be one of the hardest things in sport to do.
100%.
I think it's harder than doing a 180.
I do, 100%. I'm
trying to think.
It's not like this is not me pulling down 180s, but getting a 180 is the same movement, isn't it? You basically just have to.
You could say then you could argue a 9-dart checkout.
Yeah. They're probably equally as hard, but
no, I'd say it's still. I'd say the 147 is still well harder than a 9-darter.
Yeah, I don't know, but
not that I can do either. I think I've probably got a treble 20, and then the other two I don't think I've ever.
There's no way I could hit 180.
No.
There's just no way. Like I haven't got the steady hand to pull off a procedure like that. I
could probably do about a 65 or something, or just 60.
No, I can do 21 black.
Yeah.
21, get in.
But yeah, unbelievable, Ronnie. Yeah, belter. And then in the F1, mate, a bit of a contentious. I might come across like a bit of a dick for saying this, but it's the Miami F1 this weekend. Obviously, no racing last weekend.
Before we go on, did you see the fake water thing on Sky Sports?
No.
Oh, lad, the most bizarre bit of broadcasting I've ever seen. So in the Miami circuit, they've got like stationary boats, and they've designed like fake water. So like, you know, obviously to give it like whatever it might be, a backdrop or whatever. So what's the guy's name? You'll know him. I was going to say Fraser Dayton, but it's not Fraser Dayton. So sorry, Fraser Dayton. But it's this fella who you've seen him on Sky Sports News. Lad, he starts lying down on the fake water and doing like a pretend backstroke.
Oh, I'm not seeing it.
I'll send you the video, or I'm sure people listening have seen it. But like, it's funny for about like, I don't know, 10 seconds, and then he's probably just going, yeah, I'm in the water.
Just carry on.
No, honest to God, it's the most bizarre bit of broadcasting you'll ever see.
No, I'd love to go to Miami, by the way.
Oh.
Never been.
Be in touch for the F1, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so he's there, but he's come out this week, Hamilton, talking about racism, as we say before, you know, there's no room for it in fucking society, never mind sport. But he's come out and said it's really lonely. And I don't know whether I think being at the top, he's saying being at the top, he's lonely because there's no other like black faces around. No. Anytime he's up at the top, and I know what he's saying, and obviously I'm not a black man in a white room at the top of my game. I don't know what that's like, but I think he's put it down to race. I just think it's being at the top.
Yeah. I understand what he's saying in terms of, you know, for example, growing up, he wouldn't have had many heroes that looked like physically the way he did, which I can completely get. People who aren't white are underrepresented in the world. It just is what it is. But I think you're 100% right. Being at the top of your sport is lonely because there's 4 or 5 people who know what you feel like.
Exactly. It's not lonely because you're black. It's lonely because you are up there. You have put this dedication that kind of no one else can relate to.
Yeah.
It's like me fucking being at the top and going, fucking hell, there's no one around here from Bootle anymore.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you've just smashed it and you're fucking up there.
I think what he's trying to get across is probably being caught either in bad, sort of him not explaining it right, or obviously sensationalist headlines. But I think what he's trying to get at, in my opinion, is, you know, people who are like him physically are not in the same rooms he is in. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, if that's the case, then that's right. But I also think you're 100% right. He's in them rooms because he's one of the greatest drivers to ever live. Not everyone, regardless of your colour, creed, whatever you might be, can be one of the best drivers to ever live. You just can't.
And it's come across a little bit like, and again, hopefully I don't sound wrong when I'm saying this, but I thought, mate, it's just because you are unbelievable at what you do. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But you got to remember, though, mate, he's in a period now in his career where Lewis Hamilton will be doing a serious amount of reflecting. Like, there's guaranteed thoughts of, you know, is this still for me? Am I still good? You know, what have I done? Have I done enough? Is my legacy there? All this stuff. So a lot of them inner thoughts that he'll be having will be coming out in stuff he's saying. Do you know what I mean?
Doubt,
and he's reaching that point in his career where he is going to have to look at retirement eventually. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, George Russell is understudy, is outperforming him, beating him pretty much. Max is lapping him. And I know he's got the same car troubles, but so is George Russell, and he's still outperforming him. Yeah. So I think he's just at that point in his life also. Yeah.
Might finish off on a bit of boxing and UFC.
Why not?
So last weekend we had the big Madison Square Garden.
One of the greatest fights I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
Did you watch it all?
No. I've watched Beefy's fight, but I've not seen the Taylor fight yet.
If you just get a quiet... I
saw the highlights, but...
You have a quiet moment this week in yours, just watch it. It was just... How Katie Taylor survived the 4th round, I will never know.
How did she survive the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, just standing banging. What
I did do, well, your tips were it's going to be a close fight for a draw. Yeah. So I just put it to like the last minute of the fight. Yeah. And was just like, wow, I need to watch this whole thing. Yeah. And you were so unlucky with the draw, obviously a split decision.
Mate, to be honest, everything I said last week is like, my theory was, but like, they're so well matched that there's no way, unless one of them chin each other, that's not going to be close. But the 14-1 draw that we put up on Patreon, going into, I think it was 2-1 or something.
Did it? Yeah.
That's how low it was. So, you know, you got to run for your money at some crazy odds.
You weren't far off, man.
I just think, mate, for Katie Taylor, you know, for me, probably, and I actually think this is true, people might shoot me down, I think she's the greatest Irish athlete of all time. She's clearly not as quick as she was, but to get hit the way she did in the 4th and then not just go, right, I'm going out with my shield, she managed to get, it's like we were talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan before, she sat in that corner, she regrouped herself, realised what she needed to do, and then outperformed the girl who's just nearly stopped her and won clearly down the stretch. To like have that presence of thought, mate, you've got to be a special person. Yeah. Special person.
The atmosphere in the bar looked amazing, and it's good to see that the numbers reflected it.
1.5 million, yeah.
Biggest ever.
Yeah. Mate, do you know what's crazy? Like, 2 women headline for the first time in 140 years. And like, it just sort of, a bit like we were talking about footy, it just felt like everything just built up to that moment, do you know what I mean? They just shared it together. The way they were speaking afterwards, Amanda Serrano said, you know, I lost, but look what we've done. Yeah. First women to get 7-figure paydays. You know, Katie Taylor said, let's do it again, but for 2 million. I'm all for that stuff, do you know what I mean? Like,
the nice way they were walking around the ring at the end together, wasn't it?
But mate, that moment is going to go down in history the same way. Yeah. I know it's a bit like recency bias, but the same, you know, Ali, the greatest thing, that image of them will go in the book.
Rumble in the Jungle, Madison Square Garden, Taylor, so I think
that'll
that's up
be,
there.
When you go into the museums and stuff in the future, if they're not virtual by then, all this stuff will be in there. You know, Katie Taylor's gloves from the day, the ropes from the game, from the fight. It was just a special moment in time, and I hope to do it again. Yeah. Saying Croke Park in Ireland, aren't they? But I'd go back MSG.
We should be there next time.
Oh, mate, imagine the tickets for that. But look what they've done, mate. Like, women's boxing was always frowned upon. Yeah. And I've had that theory, haven't I? Which I know a lot of other people have had in terms of they deserve to do 3-minute rounds, but I don't know if the weekend prop might have turned back the other way, because I don't think it would have been as good over 3. It was just the fact it was 2 minutes. It was so sharp, and they had it. But and then obviously we had Beefy, didn't we, with the performance of his career so far, probably.
Again, you absolutely paid for my weekend as well with your tips on Patreon. Unbelievable.
KO and then
Postman delivered.
7-12. Played
but
out.
You know what I love about your tips though is that you pull up the right tip, that Beefy to win by stoppage and also 7-12. But in your detailed analysis, literally word for word was what happened.
Thanks, lad.
Which was impressive. So,
to be honest, it played out as I expected. He is quicker and sharper than Beefy, but you can't mix it with fellas who are naturally bigger than you. You can if they want to box with you, but Liam doesn't. He just wants to walk, put his head as close as he can to yours without cutting himself, which he did cut himself, and just break your will. And
he seemed a lot stronger, didn't he?
Oh, mate. At one point, Vargas, they were on the ropes, and Vargas started to slip out the side door, and he literally grabbed him with his arm and pushed him back in. He said, "You're going nowhere."
Landing some big body shots as well, weren't he? There was one where the camera was right there, and you just, I even went lying in the bed. I went,
all of Smiths throw a sickening body shot, lad. Every one of them. Paul, Stephen did. Callum obviously does. Liam, it's just like ingrained in him. But Liam now, what a position to be in. Obviously, Eddie will have a couple of fights on the table, I'd imagine. You can go to Australia, fight Tim Tszyu. Charlo and Castano fight for all the belts next month. The winner of that won't be able to keep all the belts. He'll be in a perfect position to pick up a vacant one. I think they might make, if Eddie gets his money out, that guy he fought in Russia, I think they might make him and Liam at the Echo for like one of the vacant ones eventually. But I've heard Kurbanov wants some crazy money, but I think Eddie might, stump it up and get Liam a home world title shot eventually. Or
be brilliant, that.
But I think Liam's game for going to Australia to fight Tim Tszyu, like he said he will go, and obviously it's just a he's in an unbelievable position now.
Boss to see one. Loads of scousers out there. You could hear them. I think you could hear Cracker, mate, in the gym.
Definitely could. But
boss to see, mate. Well done, Beefy.
What a performance.
Stevenson was the other bet you done that night, wasn't it, as well? What happened in his press conference before we see the fight?
Someone started fighting with his ma or something. Yeah,
really?
Like giving his mum loads, so he ran out. Yeah, but I think you haven't seen it. Halfway through Shakur Stevenson's press conference, he ran out the corridor. That again played out the way it did. I knew he could stop Oscar Valdez, dropped him in the 6th and beat him up. But when you get to the 7th and he's that far ahead, it was just sort of like the Mayweather thing. He was like, I'm just going to embarrass you.
Just took the piss, didn't he?
And
the last 30 seconds of the fight, or 10 seconds, he's just running around. That was funny.
But I said on Twitter, like, he made it look like a sparring session. He made Valdez, who's an undefeated world champion, look like he didn't even deserve to be in the ring with him. That's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just obviously an incredible weekend, really.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
And now that Fury's actually stopped fighting, all the bullshit around his future starts again. What's he going to do? He's going to confirm plans. What he needs to confirm, he said he was retiring last week. So why are these rumours? Fury's going to confirm what he's going to do.
Confirming what he said last week. But he's going to fight on, mate, isn't he?
You reckon?
See how Joshua Usyk plays out July. And then see sort of where he's at there. But Fury's a businessman. You tell Eddie, or another promoter, obviously Frank won the purse bid for this, you tell them and say, I'm retiring, And then they go, oh no, please don't retire, we'll pay you 5 million more.
There's my cash cow, don't go.
Yeah, please come back. He's a clever man. But yeah, I think once Joshua and Usyk have their fight, then that'll obviously...
The lay of the land will be a lot different for him, won't it?
But that looks like it's going to happen in July, hopefully, so...
Has there been a date confirmed for that?
No, but he was saying the same day as
I thought you said,
moving on to the UFC, he was talking about the 23rd, but, should we touch on Canelo? We're going to have to, aren't we?
He's this weekend, isn't he? Yeah. Go on.
Big fat Jew said... Druggy. I hate you if you're watching. This week's the worst week for me in boxing,
Why?
Because everyone of respect, all the journalists, the podcasters, everyone of respect, just the pound for pound superstar, he's there. Fuck off. Just tell him for what he is.
Cheat.
And that's me. People go, someone DM me on Twitter saying something about, I love all your boxing stuff, but can't believe you don't rate Canelo. I said, I do rate him. He's a very good fighter, but he cheated.
Yeah. Like,
just say it how it is.
Has he actually been banned for cheating?
Yeah, 6 months.
Okay.
For clenbuterol, which is blatant. Oscar Valdez, same gym, got banned last year. It's not fucking... It's real. It's not... There's no grey area with this. He done drugs and got banned. Yeah. Just that he said he ate some steak.
That was it, yeah.
But Yeah. Do you know what? Donald McRae...
Have you seen those bowls that are like that?
Yeah.
He's just one of them.
He is. It's just
That's what all it was, lad.
But, like, obviously, Donald McRae, people like that, they did it. Donald McRae done an article with him this week. An unbelievable journalist, unbelievable writer. Read loads of his books. And I thought, I'm just going to read this. And just, do you know my mind? Have you ever played a scratch card? When you're just waiting, you're like scratching, just think, please just show this symbol that's come up. I was just waiting to see the word drugs. From the top letter to the bottom. Not even a mention.
Really?
So you're going to do an interview, an article with him, and everyone's going to cover him this week, and you're not going to once mention you've got banned for drugs.
But maybe they've been told not to say that to him, which wouldn't surprise me.
That's not your job.
I know, but mate, there'll be people around him going, if you want the interview, you can have it.
And that's the problem.
But you can't ask him these questions.
But even people like, Tony Bellew, love him. One of the best fighters ever come out of this city, is vocal, but then doesn't say the word about Canelo. All I want is for prominent journalists and podcasters just to say it how it is. Just say he cheated on drugs. Yeah. That you don't have to say he's not good. He is good. He's going to win this weekend. I have no doubt about it. But just say it for what it is.
He's just a juice ball.
Oh, yeah. Good luck to Dimitri Bivol because he's fighting Canelo, Eddie, judges, fucking. Honestly,
are they going to have the spaced out Mexicans in the crowd
mate,
as well?
There'll be all signs this weekend. They haven't even sold out, which I'm happy. The bitter man in me is good. But every time Canelo fights, I just have to watch him win, get up on Sunday morning and watch Mayweather Canelo just to get me little fucking bitterness out. It's me, lad. Just to get me little bit of bitterness out.
Yeah, it's a tough one for you. So
but
you think he's going to win?
Yeah, he will win because Dimitri Bivol's a very good 175-pound fighter, but probably doesn't have the aggression to really deter Canelo. And although I think, mark this as well, although I think Bivol can take rounds and beat Canelo at boxing, and no doubt about it, any close rounds Canelo's. So I envision a very close fight to me and you, but then a 117, 111, because every close round has gone Canelo's way. What
was the truth behind Canelo saying he'd fight Usyk?
Said if you make it £1 over cruiserweight, so you make it at £201, I'll go up and fight him.
What does Canelo fight at this weekend then?
175.
So you throw on £25 or £26?
Mate, he's already done it. He won world titles without using drugs at 147, 140. I think he won it. I think he's won. I might be wrong here, so correct me if I'm. I believe he's won world titles at 140, 147, 154 because he took it off Liam, 160, 168, and 175.
How are you going up that much fucking weight?
And starting people like putting them out.
How many cows are you eating? This Mexican beef. I could do with some Mexican beef.
Do you know what, lad? Do you know, obviously you are growing into the world of boxing, but sometimes it's great to speak to people who just look at it, because loads of people inside boxing, historians and that, go, how amazing is it that he's went through all these weight divisions, carried his power up? No, the simple mind tells you why he's gone through. Yeah.
There's some serious dietitians and scientists are working in his team, mate.
Oh,
fucking Pablo Escobar type.
I'm just thankful people can come to our podcast maybe for the fix of reality, because I will not bang. I've got an article to write this week.
But you imagine, right, if he wins a belt, which he has done at 140, and then he wins a belt at £201,
he wouldn't. You should fucking obliterate him.
But £61 difference. How many stones? That like 4 stone or something. Isn't it?
Not far off.
It's probably, isn't it, £13
yeah,
a stone?
Not far off. Yeah.
There's more in it. It's probably 4. Putting on 4.5 stone and still
banging people out.
Bullshit.
You should fucking batter him.
I can't get over that.
This is what I've been saying.
Do you know when you're growing up though? Like I just find it difficult to put weight on now.
Yeah.
How do you put 4.5 stone on and still go to the gym and still You
get someone like his trainer who comes over and goes, "Get your ass out, lad." Bosh. Have a go with that, and then you go in the gym and you're like, "Yeah, man, whoa!" You're off.
Yeah, but
the peds are flowing.
Do you think Usyk could entertain that fight?
No. I'd love him to though. Do you know what? Oh mate, I'd bankrupt myself to be front row there.
Yeah.
I'd sell everything.
Do you not think though, if he was that juiced up, which he obviously would be, then he's got some kind of human fucking cross between bull strength that he'd pose some sort of threat with
Usyk? You should still fucking batter him.
Do you reckon?
Just different level, innit? Because
never know. Hopefully that happens.
No, he won't. I think Usyk will beat Joshua, and when you talk about retirement, I think he will retire.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Usyk's every boxer says this about, I'm not in it for fame. Usyk's made more money than he'll ever need. Mate, he could sit in his for like a month and burn every bit of money he can get out the bank, and by the time he went back to the bank, he'd still be fucking alright. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's okay, but I think Usyk's one of them fighters who'll, you know, drop the belt in the middle of the ring, fuck off, and you'll never see him again. He'll probably pop up as like a cowboy or something. But yeah, I just think, yeah. So obviously Canelo will win this weekend. We'll break that down in our little betting show that's going to come to Patreon.
Yeah. On that note then, so for those who support us on Patreon, you get our little weekly laugh on a Wednesday. We do a post that goes out on a Friday. It's just in text with my football bets, which I got in last weekend. 7-1.
Boom.
Jordan's bets, where he got in again. So that's 2 weeks running. We've had footy bets in and boxing bets.
On the same weekend, yeah.
So that's up on a Friday. And then we're also going to be doing a actual show like this, which you can watch, detailing the bets that we're going to be doing and maybe a bit more betting strategies and stuff like that. On a Saturday as well, so that's something to get stuck into if you support us on Patreon
for just £1 a week.
For just £1 a week.
But right, moving away from the juice ball, the UFC's back as well. Numbered card, the human backpack is back in action.
Which we won on last time.
My favourite fighter in the world.
You say this, lad. You've got a few favourite fighters, lad.
I haven't, you know.
You say every week.
Usyk's my favourite fighter.
Go on then. So that's you got two.
I love Hamzat. No, they're two different sports, aren't they?
Nick Ball
is my favourite domestic prospect. It's all in ranges, so I've got domestic prospect.
I've heard you say Tasha Jones is one of your
favourite
favourites.
female fighter.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's all got definitions. I've got my favourite L34
sure
fighter.
You say Jazz is your favourite or something.
Jazz is my soundest fighter. Well, no, my favourite current active UFC fighter is Charles Oliveira.
What about Dean's fighter?
Mo Makhachev. He's not my favourite, like, as a fan. He's just the one I think's going to fucking batter everyone.
Okay.
But in terms of, if you sat me down and went, right, what's the one fighter on the current roster that you can watch tonight against someone else? Oliveira versus someone else.
Okay.
I'm just hoping he beats Gaethje and calls out McGregor.
You think the submission's coming again?
Well, to be honest, this is probably, outside of Makhachev, who we've spoke about a couple of times, this is as tough as it gets, because I think I've said multiple times, Charles can be hit and hurt. Pretty much every first round he gets hit and dropped. And Justin Gaethje's just, you know, the human highlight reel is his name. He can whack you and keep you whacked, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
The thing with Charles Oliveira is obviously, I think he was 10-8 at some point or something, and now he's unbeaten in 14 or something like that. But he
some runs ago on that.
Yeah, mate, he was like, he picked up so many defeats down at 145, come to 155, and he's just rounded his game. But he's the best story because he shows what MMA's about. Like he's come from nothing to everything really, and but Gaethje is just a dog. Like he is a dog. You know what I mean? He can drag you to places you don't. I think someone described him this week as Justin Gaethje will set himself on fire just to burn you a little bit, and it's like it is exactly how he is, because he's like, he will do anything to get to you. Yeah. And I think especially for the first 1 or 2 rounds, it's Gaethje's world. Like if he hits Charles and keeps him hit, then I can see that happening. But he just finds a way, mate. Think back to the Poirier fight that we covered. Dustin had him hurt multiple times first round, but then he starts them teep kicks and the knees to the belly, drains Poirier, makes him make a mistake, gets on his back and puts him asleep. Well, chokes him out and he's like, fucking get off. Yeah. And if I'm totally honest, I think this is a lot more dangerous than the Poirier fight, but I think if he gets through round 1 and he can make Gaethje unravel a little bit, because the thing with Gaethje is, he describes himself, he's like, he creates car crashes is what he says, but that can make him reckless. And if you leave a gap with Charles Oliveira, he'll take it. Yeah. So I just think rounds 1, maybe rounds 2 with Gaethje's world, if Charles can come through that, then he'll win and he'll take him out. But
this is a Vegas card, is it 5 in the morning or something?
I think it's Phoenix, so yeah, not far off Arizona, but yeah, it's late in the
Sunday morning job.
Sunday morning job. But I just think it'd be a great fight. I think Charles will probably find a way. I mean, I need to look at sort of the odds and stuff. We haven't done that yet, but I think Gaethje's incredibly dangerous, but I think Charles will find a way. And if you're watching Charles Oliveira Sunday morning, there won't be a more entertaining thing to watch Sunday morning, because someone's going to get knocked out. He's going to get knocked out, or he's going to choke someone the fuck out.
Do you prefer a knockout or getting choked out?
I prefer to watch people getting choked out.
Yeah. He's sick.
I know.
Sick.
Do you know what it is though? It's because...
Okay, hang on. Someone getting choked out, someone getting knocked out, or someone being dropped from a body shot.
Body shot wins every time because it's fucking horrible, isn't it? But then...
Just for that delayed reaction down to the knee.
It's like, no, you've got me, you cunt. But it's the thing with the submission is you have to work for it. Like you watch them.
Yeah, you could be watching for a good
when you appreciate the intricacies of it, you can see the way he's trying to move his hand and then it's just that second where it's in like an anaconda, and you're gone. But that's the way I think it'll play out. But the whole card, mate, you got Rose Namajunas, who we won on when she done that head kick. Yeah, she's rematching Carla.
That was one like just front to the face. Wasn't it?
Carla Esparza, and then Chandler, who just went life and death with Justin Gaethje, which is another point how much that's taken out of Gaethje. He's fighting Tony Ferguson, who's an absolute lunatic. You know, he's been out this week calling Dana a drug dealer.
Has he?
Yeah, saying in the media week saying that he wanted to try out the sport and do this, and Dana said no, and he's like, you know, called him a drug dealer in terms of holding people ransom. But then another fighter on the card, Donald Cerrone, who's been around for years, fighting another legend in Joe Lauzon. Bit of a legends matchup that. He was saying this week about all this fighter pay thing, and it was very similar to what we said. It's like you're fighting for $2,000 on a regional show, which is like your apprenticeship, so to speak. Then you get to the UFC and they give you 12 and 12. That's a good move up. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and then you obviously earn your stripes there. Then you go to the next contract. He was like, this way of working, just because it's not reflective of the millions of pounds over in boxing. It's like if you had any other job, you were like, right, I'm earning £2,000 for my job. And now right, and I could potentially earn 24 if I do my job and do it well. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Do you know what I mean? Not that I'm not saying I 100% agree with it, but this whole boxing argument anyway. They say boxers get paid millions, but I'm telling you now, and we've had boxers in the studio. There's 10, 15, 20 at an absolute maximum boxers on the planet earning millions. Yeah, and there's thousands not. So yeah, it's obviously an ongoing conversation, but yeah, I think Chandler Ferguson just be absolute carnage. Shogun Ruiz still on here. I
think, mate, as well, you know, the whole boxing UFC kind of thing. It's everyone's different. I mean, there'll be some fellas who just love fighting and be like, yeah, I'm happy fucking scrapping for 24 grand. Yeah. And there'll be people like, I don't know, me and you sitting here going, I wouldn't do that for fucking 5 million.
But the thing is, it's designed. The UFC is designed more like American sports. It's not the open, unregulated thing that boxing is. Do you know what I mean? Dana's a promoter, but Dana's a promoter of fighters inside his organisation. Yeah. Eddie's a promoter of any fighter he can get his hands on, and he can do deals with other people. It's a business, do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, and I've said it all the time, like, if you don't want to be in the UFC, you don't have to. Brendan Loughnane, who fought the other week, gone to the PFL, had an offer from the UFC. There's other options, you don't have to do it. Yeah. But obviously, just to finish off, because I'm quite conscious of how long we've done, local,
probably coming up now, yeah.
Danny Roberts is on the prelims. Of this card. Is he, yeah, fighting Francisco Trinaldo, who's, you know, it's a tough fight, but Danny's, I fancy him to win here if he's on it. Yeah. I think with Danny it's up and like it's either, you know, he's very good or he's just not quite at the races. But yeah, I fancy him to get get a win here. But we'll break down the whole card and stuff on the betting show, obviously. Yeah. But for anyone who's not a UFC fan or whatever, just catch up with Charles Oliveira come Sunday morning. The human backpack.
Good stuff, mate. It's been good to be back.
Loved it. Great to be back in home, innit? Not on StreamYard.
I know. Like I say, the patrons will be back. And again, get involved. If you're on Patreon, thanks for the support. And if you're not, even just on Twitter, on Instagram, you know, get tagging us, tagging your mates. You know, take the piss out of the asthmatic Reds. Join in on the on getting the piss to boil from the Blues. And yeah, get involved, show your support. It's much appreciated by us, and we see you on Patreon.
See you later.